On the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the release of the original StarCraft 1, we're going to be looking at StarCraft Remastered, which is Blizzard's attempt to bring the old classic into modern standards. So here we are in StarCraft Remastered. How is the game improving from the original in terms of accessibility? Well, first of all, they added a hotkey rebinding system that was not present in the original, but it's very unfortunate that they don't follow what StarCraft 2 sets as a very good example of how to do key remapping. And indeed, you can only rebind units and buildings, but not things like control groups, which are extremely important for overall control. So that is a bit of a pickle. Now, when it comes to tutorials and game information, that is also lacking as it was in the original, because they relied very much on players going through the campaign and then maybe playing multiplayer as a side, not as the main activity. Now, what about playing ranked ladder in StarCraft Remastered? Let's see, we can head over to the multiplayer tab and quickly join a server to realize that there is a ranked ladder system implemented. So we can choose our race. Now, we thoroughly miss the implementation of more granular MMR. In this case, we only have MMR per player, with indeed seasons and divisions implemented, which is a nice addition. But otherwise, pretty standard MMR implementation in the game. Now, we can queue as random and just wait to get a game. So apparently we did find a game. Now let's see. The first thing you see is my opponent's race. Unfortunately not their MMR or League division, which will be a very interesting piece of information to know. Alright, so that was it. Now the first thing we notice is that there is a performance tab, so we can see our actions per minute, some data about units and structures produced. Then we can also save the replay, and we can check it later as well. So something quite nice about the ladder implementation is that indeed it makes absolutely transparent what the MMR change is. Unfortunately not for my opponent, that is something that we, for example, do see in StarCraft 2. Fortunately not here, but altogether quite nice implementation. Now, when it comes to player profile and player performance, we can move over to the player tab and see how it details a few statistics. So you can see your history. This is extremely important, having the record statistics and all the replays that you can watch and analyze with fairly detailed information about the games. A lot better than in the original, of course. We can also skim through some rough numbers, both for general statistics and race-specific. And finally, we can check the ladders, so we can actually see very clearly what the top players are in each of the ranks and how you're standing. So for example, you can see yourself here in the ladder with MMR, wins and losses and disconnects. For a RTS that was the beginning really of esports, some misses when it comes to implementation of hotkeys, and perhaps the ladder system could be a bit more fleshed out. But all things considered, a recommendation from us for this classic RTS to be played competitively. And that was another video in the series of competitive reviews at Enlightening Gaming. If you'd like to know how we set our standards and compare to other games, please follow this link where we go in depth in explaining each of the key aspects that a game should get right to be a good competitive experience. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and leave a comment down below, suggesting any further topics or games that you would like to see covered in the future. Also, if you're interested in knowing more about the philosophy behind online gaming, the basis for our critique, and how we do analysis of games, make sure to follow these links that take you to the presentation videos of the channel. Thank you very much, and as always, may your gaming be enlightened.